Like he would go through these manic episodes, eyes wide, talking crazy, irritable, but then other times he was more relaxed and subdued. He was drinking. He was hitting a THC pen all the time. And among other things, they said that he was addicted to ChatGPT, that he was up for 3 days talking only to ChatGPT. And there was like a ChatGPT-induced psychosis that, you know, because you've read about this where ChatGPT is like encouraging people's delusions.
Record back of another video. I got some more Nick Fuentes clips for you guys. I am back. It's been a little minute, but I'm back though. First clip I got for you guys today is Nick talking about what is the cause of all these random acts of violence in America. You know, I mean, we've had a lot of them. You know, there's like I said, Charlie Kirk. You know, a lot of random acts that shouldn't be happening. You know, that's overall not good for our country. You know, I mean, no country should have violence in it. You know, but at the end of the day, it's inevitable. But Nick tries to go down to his, you know, what he believes is the cause of it. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy it. All I ask is if you guys like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video. And yeah, continue to do that because it helps me support the channel and put these clips out for you guys. And yeah, Nick's live Monday through Friday on Rumble. I'll link it down below. And yeah, everyone enjoy it.
Turkey Tom did a video yesterday where he got in touch with a close friend of Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend. Lots of really cool insight into who they are and how deranged their situation was.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That is really freaky. Well, you know what's really interesting about it is that the transgender boyfriend, Lance, was addicted to ChatGPT. So for those that don't know, Turkey Tom, he's this like drama YouTuber. He did a video where I guess someone that knows Tyler and Lance played games.
And his boyfriend. Lots of
Turkey Tom, he's this like drama YouTuber. He did a video where I guess someone that knows Tyler and Lance from the shooting of Charlie Kirk, a friend of them got in touch with Tom and sent him all this information. I guess he knew them well, played games with them, played Magic the Gathering and other games, and was at their apartment all the time and knew both of them pretty well. And so he sent Tom basically everything he had, a bunch of screenshots and information. Among other things, you can watch it for yourself and see. But among other things, what it said is that Lance, the transgender, was like psychotic or bipolar, like he was mentally ill. He was doing experiments in his kitchen with mold. He was living in the living room, I think, of Tyler's apartment. Very messy, very moody, quick to anger. They said that he had like this kind of manic depressive streak. Like he would go through these manic episodes, eyes wide, talking crazy, irritable. But then other times he was more relaxed and subdued. He was drinking. He was hitting a THC pen all the time. And among other things, they said that he was addicted to ChatGPT, that he was up for 3 days talking only to ChatGPT. And there was like a ChatGPT-induced psychosis that, you know, because you've read about this where ChatGPT is like encouraging people's delusions, people that think they've made scientific discoveries, or, you know, people that think they're in love with the ChatGPT. It will encourage them. And so it said that there was one episode where Lance was awake for 3 days, completely manic, talking to ChatGPT in a coded language. And so I'm sure you're going to see a lot more of this. Like that's an element that hasn't even been looked at yet. Yes, everyone talks about Discord, but now ChatGPT is entering in, and it's not hard to see where all these acts of violence are coming from. All of these things induce psychosis. It's isolation. It's weed, THC, which they're all smoking. It's very strong and very common now, and it's legal. It's psychedelics, mushrooms, LSD, other things, and then it's the internet and ChatGPT. These things together, oh, also probably pornography too. These things taken together, it's just like this toxic cocktail that every kid is kind of consuming all together. Not every kid, but a lot of these troubled kids are consuming all together from the age of 14 in many cases, from a very early age. There's a lot of wayward, lost souls, lonely kids. Maybe there's already, you know, they're mentally ill or they have other issues, but you have these like wayward, socially dislocated kids. Maybe they have pre-existing issues, and then they get a phone and they get access to other stuff. And while they're in high school, and then when they're in college, they're on weed, psychedelics, alcohol, They're addicted to porn. They're on Discord and playing video games all day with people that are a terrible influence. They're socially isolated. They don't leave their house. And now you're adding to all that the Chat GPT. You're adding to that this element, this unknown quantity. We don't even know what it is. So it's very disturbing. And I think that explains a lot of what you're seeing. These, like the school shooting in Minneapolis over the summer, the killing of Charlie Kirk, it's all kind of the same thing. These kids don't stand a chance. So if you're a young guy watching this, seriously, stay the fuck away from all that as much as you can. Some of it's more avoidable than others, like alcohol, porn, social media. Those are sort of ubiquitous. I'm not going to say do them, but some are harder to avoid than others. But seriously, it seems like the psychedelics are like a one-shot. I've heard a lot of stories about psychedelic and even weed-induced psychosis. If you're one of these young guys, seriously, stay the fuck away from weed, THC, stay away from psychedelics, LSD, because that stuff will destroy you straight up. And you're reading a lot of stories these days in the states where marijuana is legal, where it's very potent, people can buy it from dispensaries, and people are being hospitalized at an alarming rate for weed-induced psychosis. And now people are hitting it on the pen. They don't even need to smoke weed. They just hit it on a pen. And so it's less invasive. It's more accessible. And that combined with alcohol, combined with, and typically there's other drugs involved too, combined with the other stuff, the social stuff, either the isolation, the negative influence online, the pornography, weird sex stuff, weird things like that. Plus then AI, you don't stand a chance. You got to get away from that as best as you can. Get away from all of it. Avoid all of that like the plague. Because seriously, it is messing people up. And even if you don't go and wind up shooting somebody, it's going to mess you up big time. It's freaky. And I've seen it. I know a lot of people, some people I went to high school with got really fucked up on that. You know, smoking weed, doing psychedelics. Not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's overall not a good, what Nick was saying about all of that, you know, I mean, that's that, but that's the cause of it though, you know. That's the problem, you know how many people I know that at the age of 12, 11, 10 years old, you know, I know people 9 years old that have phones, bro. It's beyond ridiculous that people are getting phones at a young age, you know, and that to me, that's what's really causing, you know, that's really causing the violent acts, you know. It's like he said, combination of weed, drugs, you know. Now now I'm not condoning to smoke weed. I smoke weed, but I do it out of how am I gonna say this? After I'm done working, I'm done working out, all that, at the end of the day, that's my reward, you know. That's how I look at it. That's my reward. I smoke weed, you know. I took a couple hits. I feel, makes me feel cool, and that's my take on it. But I'm not out here killing people. I'm not out here doing, like Nick said, violent acts, you know. I think it's more psychedelics, more drinking, drugs, hard drugs. I'm talking cocaine, I mean LSD, I mean heroin, I mean the whole nine. It's not good. But yeah, at the end of the day, young people, when they get the, drugs in their hands, alcohol, it's not a good combination, and nobody should be doing that. Alright, next clip I got for you guys is Nick talking about Gypsy Crusader, also known as Paul Miller. If you guys don't know, he was this is Paul Miller. I don't know if you guys know him, but basically he was a regular guy like everybody else, you know. He wanted to be a journalist, and Antifa ended up attacking him in New York City, and he turned into a different kind of person. But yeah, here's Nick talking about his thoughts on Paul Miller and what does he think about him. When people start to talk about violent revolution, that automatically makes me suspect. So I'll let you see what Nick has to say, and yeah, everybody enjoy the clip.
Please reconsider your stance on Jake and Gypsy. To me, they are honorable, extremely brave, frontline crusaders defending us, not low-level offensive thugs. Gypsy is hurting about your remarks.
Well, I like Jake. Jake is a friend of mine. I've met him. I think he's a really good guy. I don't know Gypsy Crusader. I don't want to call him Gypsy Crusader. I'll call him Paul Miller. I don't know Paul. I've never talked to him, but I don't agree with his approach. I don't like that. I don't think that's pragmatic. I don't think that's helping our cause. He does come across to me as not a very loving person. He doesn't seem to me to be Christian. I don't like that. He seems to me to be a genuinely intolerant person, and I'm not a fan. So, if he wants to be serious, look, anybody that's serious, I'm in favor of. But his whole approach, going around and like attacking kids on Omegle and blasting the N word, and I do it in a different kind of a way. It comes across with him just like genuinely from a bad place. I don't dig it. So if you like that shit, go and watch that. That's not for me.
I'm black, so maybe I'm biased, but I appreciate your take on Paul Miller. Not sure how anyone could feel otherwise. What agenda does screaming slurs at children advance? People act like he's adding to the conversation by telling kids how much he wants them to die every night.
Yeah, I mean, he's funny. Like there's no denying that his content is funny. It's entertaining. But that's what it is. It's entertainment. But that's not going to be a part of a serious political solution. I would also say he's advocating for violence. He's going out there and saying there is no political solution. And so if you're content to just make entertainment, then no one can really tone police you because it's just jokes, right? If you're going out there in a bid to make people laugh and, okay, it's funny, it's edgy, haha, maybe it's more harmless. But then he goes out and says, I don't know why Nick is telling people there's a political solution. It's like, so you're talking about violent revolution. Now that's crossing over into territory where you say, what happened to those charges? What happened to those gun charges? Like, what's going on with that? When people start to talk about violent revolution, that automatically makes me suspect because it's like, how's that actually going to happen? Exactly. And are you going to be the first to start? Like, who's going to be starting this violent revolution? Your young followers? Your impressionable, adolescent, impulsive followers who are 18 and don't know any better and get a gun and do something stupid and ruin their lives? Is that the separate spheres. You want to be an entertainer, no one can really tone police you, but you start to say you're attacking kids, you're clearly a hateful person. And I don't say that to sound like a pussy, but there's all the difference in the world between saying that you're a Christian, you love everybody, you recognize there's inherent differences, you want justice for people that are killed, you want to stop this country being drowned by diversity, and somebody that genuinely says, like, I don't like all black people. He said the other day, I think Myron is a good guy, and I never say that about blacks. It's like, really? You don't think there's any good black people? You don't think there's black people can have good character? Like, of course they can. So, yeah, that's the part that I'm not really on board with. We have to have truth and justice. We have to be honest about what's happening, about the races, about what they're doing, their differences, how our country is changing demographically. We have to be honest about that. We have to be just. Like these people that are ruining the country, they have to be punished. You go and stab people to death, you got to be put underneath the jail. These groups that are pouring in, they got to be deported wholesale. These child raping gangs in Europe, killing and raping little kids, these people they have to be removed. With that being said, I'm very much against crossing over into hatred, full-blown racial hatred. We hate this whole group and we're cruel. I'm not in favor of that at all.
It's facts, and I like Gypsy Crusader, and you can say whatever you want about the guy. But when I will agree with Nick on that is, Gypsy does come off a little. He does use the hard R, and like Nick's perfect example. He uses it too. He said that word before, but he's not like antagonizing someone. When you see Gypsy, I'm sure you've seen the clips. I can't play them, but I'm sure you've seen the clips of Gypsy when he sees a black person, right, and he says the N word. Of course of course. To some people it's funny, but also to some people it's not, And if you're gonna be a political person and talk about politics, you can't do that stuff, And you're saying, oh, I'm a hypocrite because Nick says the N word too. Yeah, but it's the way he says it. Nick's like, when Nick says the N word, he says, oh, it's all my N words. He said, you know what I mean? He's saying it in a cool way, or that most people recognize and are cool with, But when Gypsy says it, like he said, he goes on Omegle, says it to kids. I think it's funny sometimes, but someone to Nick, he doesn't appreciate it, But that's all I got for you guys today. Got more Nick Fuentes clips coming up soon, check out for another video. But yeah, I'll ask if you guys like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video, Like I said, it helps out the channel a lot, helps me out get these clips, and push America first, To me, it's the number one thing people need to be focusing on right now in America and politics is America first. We need to put ourselves, America, citizens first, you know. And yeah, and Nick's carrying that torch and putting that light and shine on it, you know. So yeah, thank you everyone. I appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna have a good one.